Good evening everyone. Welcome to all aboard MBA exams. Today we are going to discuss that what should be the attempt strategy for the MBA CET exam. Yesterday we discussed about the fact that there was a change in the date of the examinations. What can be the proposed strategy for the same? Today we are going to discuss in detail that what should be a strategy for a serious aspirant to crack the MBA CET exam. Now, I think all of you are aware of the fact that the paper pattern and the type of questions that are expected in MBA CET 22 exam are to be in a bundle format. So, the bundle format means that there can be 3 VARC questions followed by 1 logical reasoning question, followed by 1 quant question, followed by 4 abstract reasoning questions. So this can or cannot be a certain sort of a format in which the questions can be there, but the questions will be form of bundles independent of the section. There will be no sectional bifurcation, so aspirants would not be aware of the fact that whether they are attempting the logical reasoning set of questions or whether they are attempting quant, it would be an instantaneous process and you would have to adapt to this one. Coming to the second point, MAH CET 22 gives you a total of 200 questions to be solved in 150 minutes. 150 minutes of the exam, do not spend more than 45 to 50 minutes on the VARC section. This has been the core issue with all the MBA CET aspirants, that they spend close to 50 to 60 minutes on the VARC section, which in turn makes them not able to complete the quant or the logical reasoning section, and they are not able to scale their percentile. So it is advisable that close to 35 to 40 minutes are spent only on the VARC section. Apart from that, not a single minute here or there should be spent on the VARC section. So for honing this speed, you need to read passages for the VARC sections where it has 2 RC passages at least. So make a habit that in order to have a speed in the VARC section, you need to read 2 passages at least in a day. Now coming to more insights, focus only on high weightage topics. I told in my yesterday's session as well, focus on high weightage topics. If you want to crack the examination, you need to have a strategy wherein you are focusing on scaling your percentile, and percentile is a relative term, so you do not have to solve the 100% of the paper. You have to solve close to 70 to 80% of the paper with close to 85% of accuracy to get a decent MBA college through MBA CET. Now, as I was talking about the high weightage topics, so say for example in quant, the high weightage topics are arithmetic, geometry, algebra. These 3 alone combine close to 37% of the quant section. And again, a tip to solve these the questions that are mentioned here is, again, if you're taking more than 2 minutes in the quant section to solve questions of these topics, you should skip that question. Master of elimination is also an art that you should learn while attempting the questions for MBA CET exam. As I mentioned here, rule of elimination. So rule of elimination is somewhere applicable to all the sections, but since VARC is a section wherein the most of the time of the aspirant is consumed, so you have to eliminate questions that are taking time in fill in the blanks or spot the error, or for that matter close test as well. So while attempting the VARC section, you should be aware of the fact that not more than 40 minutes are invested in the questions, and apart from that, if a question is taking more than 2 minutes in all of these sections, you should skip that question. Now coming to a most important strategy, especially for the VARC section, you have to dig out or for that matter come up with probable 2 answers to a question in less than 1 minute to solve that question in less than 1.5 minutes. So you have to break down the 5 options to the 2 most probable options and then mark the option that is most suited for the answer. If you're going to test all the 5 options, then you're going to waste close to 1 or 1.5 minutes per question, which is going to cost you your percentile. So it's better that you eliminate 3 options, bring the question to 2 options, and thereafter start attempting the VARSI section, or for that matter questions. Last, attempt mocks that are closest to the actual exam. As I said, the questions would come in the bundle format, wherein the order of the sections, or for that matter the sectional bifurcation, will not be available. So attempt mocks that are of the same nature, because it will help you to develop that habit to handle instantaneous sectional questions for MBA CET exam. Now, talking deeper about the strategy, I have compiled a list of what should be the probable attempts, along with an accuracy percentage, along with the time. So this sort of graph contains your accuracy mapped with time and mapped with your score. So you should be this is not a hard and fast rule, but somewhere as per the statistical modeling that we have done, as per the feedbacks that we have got from the serious aspirants of MBA CET, this attempt strategy is a working one for them. It has worked for them. They have landed in their decent MBA colleges. So this might work for you as well. This has a higher probability of working as opposed to any other strategy for you. Abstract reasoning with 90% accuracy in 20 minutes. So this is only possible if you have practiced previous year questions of abstract reasoning, and since there are 25 questions of abstract reasoning, making the full attempts of abstract reasoning and getting an accuracy of 90%, so you would scale a score of 21.75 in this. So abstract reasoning should be between 20 to 22 marks out of 25 to help you get into a top B school. You should not go for 100% accuracy for that matter, but you should go for 100% of attempts in the abstract reasoning section. And the time to attempt these questions should be less than 40 seconds, because there would be some questions in abstract reasoning that would take close to a minute. So you need to handle your time and complete the section in less than 20 minutes or equal to 20 minutes. Now, logical reasoning with 75% accuracy. So logical reasoning has the highest weightage in the examination with 75 questions. So practicing this, or for that matter attempting questions, only 60 questions with 75% of accuracy in 45 minutes will help you get a score of 41.25. What I mean from this, that you need to target those 60 questions that you think you can come up to a certain option, that you think that this can be the option of the question, and thereafter again the accuracy percentage here should be only close to 70 to 75%. If you've done 60 attempts in logical reasoning with close to 75% accuracy, you can easily scale a score of 41.25. Coming to VARSI, so VARSI is gonna take the most of the time in your MBA CET exam. So again, someone who's reading passages, someone who's reading books, someone who has done previous year questions is likely to have an advantage in terms of speed and accuracy. If VARSI is attempted with 80% of accuracy in 45 minutes, you can easily get close to 24.25 marks, wherein you only have to attempt 35 questions out of the 50 questions that are being asked in the MBA CET exam. Now coming to the con section, again it has to be a high accuracy section and it has to be attempted in close to 40 minutes, and out of the 50 questions that are being asked in the examination, you only need to attempt 40 questions. So with this target approach of attempting questions with accuracy, marking the questions that you are aware of, that this can be the most possible answer of the question, you can easily reach to a score of 116.75. 116.75 is a very decent score in MBA CET, which can help you get into a decent MBA college which comes under the MBA CET exam. So I would explain this in detail, that Again, this approach will help you to land somewhere here in this bracket of 116 to 130. So this would ensure that you fall in the range of 97 to 98 percentile. So the top 3 colleges for MBA CET like JBIMS, SIMSREE, LT Wellinker, these 3 colleges, again, JBIMS has a cutoff of close to 99 plus percentile, SIMSREE somewhere lies between 97 to 99. The same is the cutoff for LT Wellinker. So somewhere if you are falling in this range, you can land into the top 2 MBA colleges that come under the MBA CET exam. So I repeat the strategy that we discussed earlier, that somewhere you need to scale these scores in the exam, and it can easily come with a targeted and strategic approach, that you attempt abstract reasoning with 90% of accuracy, logical reasoning with 75, VARC with 80, quant with 80. With this targeted approach, you can easily get close to 97 to 98 percentile, and which can ensure a seat in one of the top MBA colleges of the country. So as I discussed, that you fall in this range, for someone to make a jump from here to here, that can only happen when you are practicing close to actual mocks. So someone who hasn't practiced mocks, or for that matter, someone who hasn't practiced MBA CET questions in the format that is mentioned in the MBA CET notification, he or she is likely not will not be able to fall in this bracket as well. He or she might fall in this bracket wherein you would have to settle for a private college for that matter, or not a very decent college that comes under MBA CET. But somewhere if you're practicing mocks, if you develop a strategic approach, you can easily fall in this bracket within 1 month of practice from now. And thereafter, to make a strategic jump from here to here, you would need mocks that are closest in nature in terms of level of difficulty for the actual examination. So as I told you, I have discussed the strategy that one needs to apply. I've discussed the percentile that you can get. I've discussed the score versus accuracy versus the time map with you that an aspirant should adapt to get an ideal score of 115 plus in MBA CET. So if you want to learn from JBIMS alumni and get access to updated MBA CET mocks, use code OFFER35 and unlock your seat at JBIMS. So these mocks are being designed by JBIMS alumni who have cracked the exam, who know the approach, who have attempted these type of questions, who know what actually goes into the strategy, what actually goes in attempting these questions, and what actually should we derive by attempting these mocks. Score, percentile prediction, question-wise analysis, and again score boosting methods will be in compliant with this test series. So when I say score and percentile prediction, so you would be aware of the fact that which percentile that you are falling into, which is the ideal score that you are falling into, what is the competition score, or for that matter the students who have attempted the mock apart from you, what they have scored. You would also know the question-wise analysis, meaning to say if you have attempted a VARC question and you've marked the wrong option, so you would get a suggestion in the after mock analysis that why this answer is right as compared to what you have marked. So you would be aware that what should be a strategy to deal with a similar type of a VARC passage. In the end, all this cumulatively accounts to your score boosting, wherein if you are scoring close to 100 or 105 marks, you need a push of 15 to 20 marks. So that would easily come if you start attempting mocks that are close to the actual examination. And when I say close to the actual examination, it means the level of difficulty, the type of questions, and at the same point of time, the pattern of the examination that is being discussed, or for that matter declared in the MAH CET 22 notification, should be in compliance. So I hope that this session would have been of a value addition for you. You would have understood that what should be your target score, what should be your target accuracy, what should be an ideal time for you to adopt for a session, and at the same point of time, what should be a sectional strategy for you to ace that section and eventually get a score that is decent enough for you to get into a good MBA college that comes under the MBA CET exam. In the end, I would just like to mention once that if you want to sort of firstly learn from JBIMS alumni, people who have already cracked the examination, they know the in and out of the exam, they know what is the level of difficulty, they know the type of question, they know what can be asked in the paper, what can be the type of questions. So you just need to use the code offer 35, and the link for the same to get access to this amazing MBA CET 22 test series is mentioned in the chat. You can click on that chat, on the link that is mentioned in the chat, use the code offer 35 and get a 35% discount on the MBA CET 22 test series. This is all from my side today. I hope this session would have helped you a lot, would have given you a value addition in terms of your preparation for the MBA CET 22 exam. If you have liked the session, please like the video, hit on the subscribe button so that the YouTube Baba is happy and we are able to come up with more videos to help you get a better view of how to crack the MBA CET exam. Happy learning.